From abundantfreedom.online, and today I thought I'd help you with doing a top-down analysis and what we're actually looking for. So here we are on the NASDAQ micros, and we're going to just start off with just having a quick overview of what the monthly is doing. So we quickly just want to get a general impression. We can see here that we had a big uptrend and now we're in a pullback phase. Don't spend too long on this, just want to note what's happening here. Okay, so last week we were bearish and we've got a green candle this week. So we're kind of thinking, could that be that we're making the upper wick and we're going to continue down, or is this now creating a support to continue up? And other things to note, just no bottom wick on that, and this here had created a support and this bearish candle barely broke out. So the next one down we go to is the daily, and we can see on the daily that there is a support here and it sort of lines up with this other support over here and this wick touch here and the small little doji before the big one cut through that. So we can see now that we've made a little bit of a bottom wick on the daily and it's going up. So it could break this wick here and continue up, or it could just do a retest and then continue down. But we don't want to get too stuck on it. We're just having a bit of a feel for it. Okay, so the daily was in a bit of a pullback. We can see here now that we've got more candles, we're moving further down. Now this is where we want to first start drawing our support and resistance lines. So we're looking for a place of support, and support is always where there is a red and a green candle. So it's the green one that comes after the red because that signals buyers are now stepped in. So therefore it's created a support. So if we just go and mark that off with our horizontal line, just at the close of the candle bodies, not too close but not down at the wicks either, just to kind of give us a bit of a visual line. And then we want to look for where resistance is, and it just happens to be on the same candle where you've got a green and a red. So the red after it shows that sellers stepped in and pushed price down, so it created a bit of a barrier here, a ceiling. So that's where we're going to put our resistance line. And then we're going to drop down to the 1 hour and just make sure these lines still make sense until we get to the 15-minute where we like to take trades. So we can see here that the most recent support area is down here. So we're just going to adjust our line down, because on the higher time frame on the 4 hour, these were wicks. And then we're going to adjust this just slightly up to our most recent resistance there, and we're just getting a bit of a feel about it. So we're like, okay, we're an aggressive move up and there's sort of been no volume as we're moving up. Had a small candle, big, there's a bit of a wick at the top, not much at the bottom. We've just opened up a little bit of a doji there. Okay, not getting too married to any idea, but just having a bit of a look. So move to the 1 hour and make sure our support and resistance lines still make sense, because we know these wicks are actually candles on lower time frames. And just get a bit of a sense like, okay, we're moving up here, we're in a little bit of a pullback. So the previous 30-minute closed very, very small candle. And if we look over here for the most recent area of resistance, we can see we're kind of bang on that level there, which is why it's having a reaction at the moment. And that's where we like to see opportunities, is at places of reaction, these key levels where price has failed to either break higher, causing this to be a resistance area. Because remember, if we have a red after green, it's resistance. And then down here we've also got a green after, which is creating support until this one managed to break through. So just while we're here, we can just sort of mark this up just to show you that if we go and mark the close of this candle body here, which sort of coincides with over here where this also became a bit of a resistance here, where it took a little bit to break through, this candle you can see visually has broken out. So you could have taken this as a sell. So you just want your stop loss just to be back up inside the range above the previous candle's wick and give it a little bit of breathing room. And you can see that the range comes right down to here on this previous candle. This here wasn't printed at the time. So we'd be looking to sort of look at taking profits around about this level here or this level here, because price tends to react in those levels. So if we just sort of went up to the candle body closures of this one over here, this would have just hit TP. but we always want to make sure we're going for a 1-to-1 and then leaving a runner for the rest. So we want to take off 80% when we've got our 1-to-1 and then leave the rest to run down to here once you've moved to break even. But that's just to give you a bit of an oversight while we're at it. Hindsight is lovely. Now let's continue down to the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, you can see that these wicks that were on the 1 hour and 30-minute are actual candle body closures. We want to just readjust that level a bit further up. Yep, our support's still in the right place. That's fantastic. Now this is where we're looking to take trades. So we want to look to see where is our most recent area of support or resistance. And we can see here that there was a little bit of a resistance right here where sellers stepped in. So let's just mark that level there. Right here where it created a little bit of resistance, it's come down, but we have this green candle right here, and it's currently 9 minutes into the 15-minute candle, and it has broken the top wick and the bottom wick. So at the moment we don't really know which direction it's going. We can look over to the left and see if we get any more clues, any more information that could help us. And we can see here we've got a level of support. This here is sort of broken through, but then you look down here and you've got a level of support as well where it broke through. And then that sort of tends to line up with this wick touch over here and these body candle closures here and the wicks touching this area. So we know that this is a key level right here. And these small little candles that just trickled up just fell over this resistance and came back to retest, but it looks like buyers who have been trying to break through this level have finally pushed up, and this may be the opportunity where sellers try to push down but buyers stepped in, that you could be looking for buys. But again, we don't want to get married to any idea. We just want to consider or anticipate what may happen, and then we wait till we get the evidence that we need to participate in the trade. So at the moment we're anticipating that price could close nice strong bullish candle engulfing this previous one up here, and we could expect the next one to do a little bit of a pullback retest, or it could come right back to the line here and then continue up. But remember, price doesn't move in straight lines, it moves up in zigzags, so it might end up looking something like this, because price likes to retest the previous level that's broken. So if I just go ahead and put some arrows here, you can see that price breaks through, lands on tops, and then continues up. But the overall direction where you've got higher lows and higher highs is up. So anyway, that's the overview of how you get your support and resistance, and a bit of an overview from the higher time frames down to the 15-minute chart where we like to take our entries from. And then you can just have a higher time frame analysis when you're looking at taking trades on the 15-minute. So what I like to do is then put this on 4 charts. You can see up here the layout on TradingView is you can have 4 charts, so you can see the levels that we did here on the 15-minute, which was where we landed on. So I just moved that back to the 4 hour so we can kind of see what's happening here. Okay, there was a long wick down to this area we marked out on the 15-minute, and a big wick up here on the 15-minute, which we can see up here. So these wicks are actually candles. So we can kind of get a bit of an idea and say, okay, well, on the 4 hour, we have pushed past the candle closure bodies here. We've got 51 minutes to go. This may be going up now. So we're kind of keeping that in the back of our mind, considering that we came down, left a big rejection wick with coming up. And on the 1 hour, you can just start to marry these ideas up all together. So by having the 4 there, I can just have a bit of a quick glance at all of them and see the story at once, what it's trying to tell me. And then at any time I can just expand one over the other. So we don't want to get too married to any idea because it can change. That's why we wait for candle closures before we take any action, but we're always anticipating. So, when you're actually looking at taking a trade, you might be thinking, okay, I'm looking for bullish, and then you don't get what you need to see before you can enter the trade. So then you're like, okay, now I'm looking at bearish. But you want to make sure that when you're kind of not sure about whether it's bullish or bearish, is that you are not flipping your idea based on the candle while it's currently moving. You're doing that while the candle has closed and given you the evidence, and you're looking on all 4 time frames. So as you can see here, you can zoom in on the 15-minute. That's interesting. This green candle body, which was quite full green bodied up here, is now turned bearish and starting to come down. So that kind of makes us think, okay, maybe this is what they call a fake out, where we actually might be coming down. And remember what we said about price going up, it likes to retest previous levels that were broken. And right here we do have a level of resistance created where it broke through. And we can see that this retest was very, very shallow. It didn't come down here. So when we have shallow retests, we could even see a deeper pullback to test a previous level down here. So these are things we just keep in mind. Looking at this, we don't want to get too married to any idea. But once we sort of think that we have a idea or position, we want to stick with it. And the trade idea that we have, we want to sort of give it breathing room to play out, unless you get obvious signs that you feel that the trade idea is not working out. But this is based on structure, candle closures, wick breaks, not just a feeling based on FOMO or fear that I may miss all the profits or I may miss out on this trade, because money is just the byproduct of us trading. What the ultimate goal is to create a repeatable skill that helps us to pull money out of the market at will. Now that's a pretty cool skill to have. So anyway, this is Vanessa from abundantfreedom.online. I hope you enjoyed that top-down analysis, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.